All right, so let's bring this over here. So let's, okay. All right, now we're going to ream it, and again, I always use my knife. I don't use the reaming tool, although I do have it. I have the barrel de-burr and a stick de-burr, but I don't like using them. I like using my knife much better. So what I do is I ream it on the inside. And see, I pull straight line of copper. I don't know if you can see it. Now, we'll make sure we don't forget our flare nut. And now, make sure to put this on here. And now we will flare. Put on our flare block. And we'll leave about 1/4 of an inch sticking past the flare block. I mean 1/8 of an inch. Okay, this is again an oscillating flare, so it doesn't just go down the center. It moves around the tubing and gradually creates that flare, and it has a clutch, so it will release as it is done. So hopefully you can see it. There's our clutch. We'll go a couple more rounds. Okay, and then we'll back it out. Show you the flare. So we'll torque it down soon. Let's work on the next one. Actually, I want to turn this around because the reason is this roller here, see, it's solid on this side and has this ridge over here. So I want the solid part to be on the inside. Alright, so again, bend it down because we want to de-burr it and we don't want any copper shavings going inside. We almost forgot our flare nut. Flaring block. You can see a little bit sticks out. Let's put the flare tool on. Okay, there's no tears. Beautiful flare. So hope you can see it. All right. So all these bends, they look a little bit wacky, but they're actually pretty even. There is no kink in there. They're actually like nice and smooth bends. Let's do the next one. So now we're doing this zone. This is a 12,000 BTU. The black one is 18, and then the one on the top over here will be a 9,000 BTU. Alright guys, so now it's time to torque these flare fittings down, and we're using this yellow jacket torque wrench with replaceable socket. Well, these are not sockets, tips. And the reason I'm using this and not the adjustable torque wrench is because adjustable torque wrenches tend to strip these flare nuts, whereas this one designed specifically for different sizes of heat pump flare nuts, and it's a very tight fit on the flare nut, so you are not going to strip it out. Okay, so we're using a 26mm for the 1/2 inch pipe. Okay, and it's already set for 57 Newton meters, or about 41 pounds of foot-pounds of torque. So I like to use Newton meters. It's just like simpler. You don't have to deal with the decimal points, especially on the lower end, because it's like 12.5. It's kind of hard to get the half for the 1/4 inch nuts. Okay, so it's all set from the previous jobs. Just lock this in place. Again, always hold your port with the second wrench so you don't break it out of the place, because you can see it's only like a piece of copper, and the port is held by this little metal bracket. It's not really strong. So we go until this is tight, and until it starts clicking. Okay, so it's clicking. See over here, and you can see I'm securing the port with the second wrench. All right, this is all set. Now we move down to 3/8 inch, and so here's the case for this yellow jacket torque wrench, and you notice they have a table over here of torque specs. Okay, so these are approximate torque specs. However, Fujitsu, which this is, has their own torque spec, and for 3/8 we use 40 Newton meters or 28.5 pounds of torque, whereas over here for 3/8 it calls for 25 pounds, not 28, and 34 Newton meters, not 40. So I go by the torque spec from Fujitsu, and I'm somewhere in the middle of the range that they give you, maybe just a little bit higher. Okay, so to set it, first of all we need to remove this tip, this jaw. Right, so there's a jaw removal tool here. Just press it in, and eventually it will come out. Okay, and I think we're using 22mm here. So yeah, we use 22. It's going to be tight in there. Put it in. Now what we do is we unlock this here, and we set it for 40 Newton meters. And this is exactly 40. Let's set it for 41. Just a little bit more torque. Lock it in place. And we're going to do both of them at the same time, because changing the settings can be a pain. And then we'll move to the 1/4 inch tubing. Okay, so it's clicking. We'll do the same over here. Look, our adjustable wrench. So again, adjustable torque wrenches, they can strip these torque nuts. I don't like that, so that's why I like using this one. And really, replacing these jaws takes a second, and adjusting the torque setting also takes a second. It doesn't take that long. So I really prefer this versus the digital torque wrench with adjustable jaws. And now we move down to 17 millimeters, and we'll set it for 17 foot-pounds. So that one is easy. I mean 17 Newton meters. And we'll do all three at the same time. All right, torquing connections, torquing the flare is done. So let me just quickly show you the beauty of this unit. Okay, so the 4-zone, each zone has its own EEV, or electronic expansion valve, or EXV. Okay, and basically it's a needle that's controlled by the electric current that goes through this coil here, and it will move the needle, and it can do like up to 20,000 positions. Whereas the TXV, you know, like it's controlled by the pressure, and sometimes the pressure is off, or you have low charge, and so this is a lot more accurate and a lot more precise. And the reason why we removed all those copper shavings is because we don't want this tiny needle to get stuck on the shaving, you know. So that's what we did. And also, so this port is closed, and we're not going to use it. I will torque it up just to make sure that there is no refrigerant coming out, because there's only a single valve to open the high side and another valve to open the low side, whereas other units might have individual valves for each zone. This one you have to connect all zones at the same time, and only then we open the refrigerant port. Okay, so now we're going to plug those guys in and install the indoor unit over there, and do all the flare connections on all the 3 units.